6:30 p.m. Eastern. Shelby's World Live taking off. Questions will be answered cause the queen get it off. Unity is for the black and brown community. Conversation without scrutiny. Hey, we speak from a place of power, no coward. We just making sure the truth isn't overpowered. Black goddess, black queen, no in between. Radio podcast to the big screen. Her smile is everything, can light up a room. She say what she means, that's why we're in tune. Grown woman handles her biz like it is. Discipline, a role model for the kids. Nothing was given, everything she earned. She sat back and learned, and now it's her turn. So stop on by, comment, subscribe. Each and every Wednesday, SW Live.
Shelby's World Podcast. Shelby's World.
What's up, what's up? What's up, what's up, what's up? Ladies, what's up? Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. We are live. We are back virtually live. Y'all been good? Y'all been missing me? I'm here. I ain't going too far now, I promise you. But I'm glad everyone is doing well. If you're not, hit me up separately. We can talk separately. But how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How y'all living? How y'all loving? All that good stuff. How the graduation parents feeling right now? How's all that going? What's the emotions? What's the feelings right now? Because I can tell you that during that time I had lots and lots and lots of different feelings, very different emotions, very pivotal things going on at that time. Because your kids have just told themselves, and the world has just told them and made them believe that they are adults. and they still kids, So I thought I'm under the impression that anything with the word teen at the end is still a child. I'm one of those people that believe that. So you still a child to me. You could probably be 21 and I'm still gonna treat you like a kid. Sometimes not treat you like a kid. But, I respect you as a young adult, but I'm still going to be looking after you and making sure, checking on you, doing those things that I'm supposed to do because you're still my kid. But how y'all feeling? It's so many beautiful graduates, so many beautiful college graduates, high school graduates, kindergarten graduates, middle school graduates, pre-K graduates. It's so many grads. So it's a special time of the year. People are definitely out spending a lot of money and the world is definitely going really, really fast because we're trying to keep up with all that's going on in grad life. So I hope everybody's well. I hope everything is peaceful. Get you some, anytime you need to take a break and focus on yourself a little bit, make sure you do that because we don't need you to burn out during this time. We don't need you to give up and give in. We need you to be focused because it's a happy time. Not, every time your kid accomplishes something, it's a happy moment. So we happy to know that everybody is good. And if you're not, like I said, holler at me. We could talk. So today we're talking about how accountability works. Such a strong word too. Accountability is a huge project for a lot of people who don't understand the concept of how it helps you. A lot of people think that when somebody says be accountable, that we're just telling you that you're lying or you're doing something wrong. No, we're telling you that's the way you grow. Accountability builds charisma. It gives you a little bit more confidence. It gives you a little bit more mindset when it comes to you moving forward with your goals, when it comes to how you process things, when it comes to how you look at people. Because accountability is really like morality, your morals. And your morals are super important. And now you're going to create your own morals in life as well. But you also have the opportunity to enjoy the morals that are taught to you because those are legacy morals. That means that this has been something that has been working for generation after generation. And you don't want to let a legacy moral just go out the window. Because, I'm going to give one of the things that my granny used to say is that It don't matter. It don't matter how clean you look. When they come into your bathroom and in your kitchen, that's gonna define how clean you are. And I solely believe that. I solely believe that. Your kitchen is where you eat from, and your bathroom is where you bathe and take care of your body. So if you're not keeping those two main places in your home clean, it says a lot. Because you and people and some people will send you into a dirty bathroom. You be like, "Can I use the restroom?" And then next thing you know, you ready to go. So you gotta, your how you were raised. Some of those morals are gonna definitely those legacy morals are gonna definitely follow you into your upkeeping and how you take care of your family, how you raise your children, and all that good stuff. So yeah, stay accountable, be accountable. Um, so how accountability works is what we're talking about today. We're gonna jump real quick into this quote. Quote of the day is: "No individual can achieve worthy goals without accepting accountability for his or her own actions." You cannot be successful without being acceptable. And it may sound like, oh, that's a crock of BS, because it's a lot of successful people that just do people wrong, right? But a lot of those successful people were born into money. They didn't just make the money. They were raised with the money. The money was given to them. And they just had to follow the blueprint of how to keep the money going. But for the people who literally have to go out and get it from the mud, you got to be acceptable to your success. You got to be acceptable. You got to be the one that's building into it. You have to be the one that's giving as much of you into you. Like, you're going to pick up some stuff. Like I said, you pick up things along the way that are going to ground you and keep you morally based. But for the most part, you have to be the person that's feeding you. You have to. You definitely have to be the person that's feeding you. Yes, 100%. 100%. So taking that into retrospect, we're gonna have our conversation today, and we're gonna be very conservative about a lot of these areas that I'm going, which means that only thing I may not delve really deep into some of those topics is what I'm saying. But for the most part, I want to talk about accountability in relationships. I want to talk about accountability in your personal life, and how you parent, and we're going to talk about a little bit of accountability in your professional life. Now, for the most part, people handle things how they want to handle things to move to be able to do things for them that works for them. But when you're dealing with certain situations, you're going to know that how your morality is going to lead you through a lot of these conversations. If you have none, if you don't know when to chill on certain words that you're saying to people, because there's a lot of people that do not know how to have conversations. They just be talking. So I people that talk now. They don't, but conversation wise, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to say something and listen, and allow another person to respond. They overtalk you. They talk loud to try to get their point across. They don't know how to have a conversation. And that's a little scary, because like I said, we are in a position now in our lives as to where we're supposed to be acceptable to many, many things. You cannot think that it's okay to just say, can I talk to you, and you talking, and it's just you talking. People don't want to. People, no, we can't have a conversation where you over talking somebody. How are they able to even explore the conversation if they can't even give you their feedback? You ain't even allowing them the opportunity to speak or respond. And that's an issue, because you just don't want to be saying that this is my friend, or this is my person, and But when they come to me with something that they want to discuss with me, I'm not allowing them to really discuss it with me. I'm running the conversation. I'm in charge. Everything about that is wrong. So we got to be we it's just not happening, okay? Um Accountability in life involves taking responsibility for one's actions, being transparent and answerable to others, and working to achieve positive outcomes. So, if you're being accountable, if you are accountable, your goal is definitely to make this a resolved situation. It doesn't have to be something that goes on for 3 weeks, 3 days. You could just go ahead and talk about it, and that's what adults do. We have conversations. We talk about what we need to talk about. We're not you can't be trying to tell somebody how you made them feel. If they're telling you you made them feel a certain type of way, listen to them explain that to you. Don't try to deny it. That's a lot of people issue. That's not what I did. That's not what I said. Getting very offensive when I'm telling you what you did to me, because what you did to me is totally different than what you might see it as. But if I'm telling you something and telling you how I felt, how I feel, and what it's doing to me and the relationship that we have, and you kind of like push it away by saying that's not what I meant to do, it may not be what you meant to do, but it's what you did. So that person is telling you what it did to them, meaning that you have to take accountability for those actions of how it made them feel. Now you can fix the situation by explaining what you actually meant. You can fix that. You don't have to, it doesn't have to go on further to where it's a problem. Y'all fix it. That's what talking through it is about. And that's what having that conversation about. The one that a lot of people don't like to have. People don't like conversation. Personal accountability in your private life means taking responsibility for your choices and behaviors and how they impact others and yourself. Each day we make tons of micro decisions in our personal lives, very micro. There are things that we have to have a quick decision on that you might not even have the opportunity to think about. Micro decisions in our personal life. Some of these can foster self growth or enrich our relationships, while others may have adverse outcomes that negatively impact our relationships or exhibit or inhibit personal improvement. One example that most of us can relate to is that the need to be stay accountable for household tasks. And it's an example. If you live with a roommate or a partner, you need to keep yourself personally accountable for contributing to that household. And that includes to household chores, bills, and all of that. To keep your space clean, doing the dishes and vacuuming isn't much fun, but it has to be done. And one person shouldn't be responsible for that, right? So if you do lapse in household responsibilities, um, it can help you maintain a positive family relationship or a positive outcome with your person, the person that you're spending that time with. So you do. Oh, we got some comments. I'm sorry. What's up, sis? What's up, Unc? How y'all doing? I just seen them pop up on the screen. I forgot I had a new feature on here. I'll be forgetting about this stuff, y'all. So we definitely want to make sure that we're doing our part. That's how we're going to always remain accountable, by doing our part and by understanding our part. Like not just be like, oh, I'm doing it because she told me to do it. I'm doing it because he told me to do it. No, that's an excuse as to why you're doing it. You're supposed to do this. You have to be a part of the household. And a person that's a part of the household has to benefit and contribute. If you're benefiting from it, you should also be able to contribute to it, right? So that would mean with children, you don't expect your children to pay the bills in the house, but you do expect them to pick their shoes up so mud isn't on the floor. You do expect them to vacuum. They may have dishes depending on the age. Even if they're younger, you want to start them at a young age of teaching them accountability, teaching them to be responsible for them, teaching them to be responsible for themselves. It's so many parents that expect things from children that they haven't even been shown. They haven't been shown what to do, but you're expecting them to do it. Where do they pick up on this from? Then now they're in school, 8 years old, and the teacher telling them to pick up their blocks, and they keep walking right past the blocks, like they didn't hear anything that teacher told them. And then also, there are no actions for his action. There's no reaction to the action. Accountability must start at home first, because when you send them out into that world, now they're going to start to be disciplined for things that they were not never even taught. That's so unfair. That's so unfair. I mean, and I hear people all the time say, "Well, the reality kick in." No, that you sound stupid. You the parent, you the guardian, and you telling me that you would rather just reality teach your kid versus you preparing them. Setting your life goals in personal accountability fuels progress toward achieving the life goals that you set. So taking up a new hobby or learning a new skill requires work. You can't just jump into it and just think you're a perfectionist. You have it. Things take work. So you need to be accountable to yourself by exercising the discipline necessary to work continuously toward your goal. This may mean showing up to lessons, working out, or practicing, even when you're tired and have had a long day at work. You got to keep it going. You got people watching you. You got little, especially if you got little eyes watching you. They need to see the consistency in your accountability. They need to see how, if my mama or my daddy can do it, I'm good. I know I can do that. They need to see that though. If you're not giving them that vision, if it's not physically happening in front of them, how they gonna know that they need to be doing that? Because you just telling them. Last time on last week's show, I told you when we were talking about parenting young adults, you can't just feel like just because you tell a person to do something that they're going to do it. You're not. You're supposed to do. It's parenting is not about doing as I say, not as I do. Parenting is about you actually showing them what to do. Because kids ain't listening to that no more. They're not just listening to your words; they're listening to your actions. What you show them is what they're going to do. What you show them is what they're going to pick up on. They're not studying. You come in there talking about mama, baby, for the next 3 nights, I'm going to cook y'all a nice meal every night for the next 3 nights. They get that meal one night. You a liar. Now they can't tell you that, but that's what you are. Because what was your reason for not doing it the other 2 nights? You're not being accountable. And they don't see, and they see that. They were like, well, mama or daddy said they said they was gonna do something, they didn't do it. So why, and they ain't get in trouble. It had no consequences to that. So why should I be held responsible and have consequences for something that I didn't do when the people who taking care of me don't have no consequences? Unfair. Stay focused on that new goal, that new skill, whatever new hobby that you're doing. You have to stay focused on that. You got to definitely give it the consistency that it deserves for it to have some growth. Because again, we're talking about the outcome versus the start. So you're looking for something at the end of this. You're not just doing this to do it. You're looking for something. There's something that you're building toward, and you always need to focus on what you're building toward. The role of your accountability to others plays a crucial role in personal and professional development. Being accountable to colleagues, friends, and family members creates a support system that enhances one's ability to achieve their goals. And this external accountability serves as multiple beneficial purposes, including providing support, encouragement, and constructive feedback. And so, teaching yourself how to respond, being accountable for that, because some of y'all responses be kind of harsh, and I know I had to learn myself that everything how I respond is not the way I probably had the best advice in my response, but also my how I gave it to them may have not been what they accepted, because that's what they'll tell me, like, you said some good stuff, but I ain't like the way you said it. And like we say, it's not our responsibility to care about what somebody likes or don't like. But when it comes to you and what you're giving, your morality gotta kick in. So you may be coming from the best intentions, but if you speaking to them like they're a child or a person on the street or like somebody that don't deserve no respect, you probably won't get a really good response from them, because you're not giving them that thorough that they need to hear without it being so rude and so, oh, just because people so quick to say, I'm just blunt. Don't be blunt with me. If that's the case, just don't be blunt with me then. If you just a blunt person, find a way to talk to me without being blunt. And that's a person who care about you, they're going to do that. A person that feel like you should just take what they said and chew it and swallow it and accept it, they ain't thinking about that. But a blunt person is, and we're not, blunt people are not bad people. That's what I'm saying. I used to be blunt. I used to be like, oh, very direct. Now I choose my words very wisely with anybody that I deal with, down to my children. How I'm gonna speak to you, how it's gonna come out, the peace that's gonna come with it. Because baby, all I want is peace in my life. I don't want no drama. So I'm gonna speak peacefully, just because I don't want to deal with nothing else. I don't want to deal with an attitude. I don't want to hear you feel like I'm attacking you and all I'm doing is responding to your question. And I'm not doing it in a nasty way. It's sometimes just what you say. Your delivery may just be off to certain people. So you got to learn to deliver to them in their way. We can do that. That's not hard to do, especially when you know you dealing with this person on a very caring level. On a very caring level, you have to be very, very. It's ways you have to be with that. Now, a lot of people don't like to accept where they are and how they falling down, or when they look in the mirror, or they won't even go look in that mirror. And I know me, I feel like that about myself. I feel like if I'm going through something, and and this was before, going through your learning phases of how you want to deal with things and becoming accountable, because you can been an accountable person your whole life when it comes to being responsible, but for how you treat people, your accountability level may be a little bit different. So if say for instance you're trying to figure out a way to say something without it being so rough, right? This person may like it rough for you to talk to them. This person right over here may be like, you can't talk to me like that because I'm too sensitive. That's respectful. They're giving you their dialogue. They're telling you how they are. Now it's up to you to respect their wishes. And a person that you care about, you are to do what? Respect their wishes. Like, don't make it about you all the time. And I hate having a conversation with somebody and be like, I'm right. So everything that they responding with is like, I'm right. Because I'm right, you gotta listen. Or because I'm right, if you don't do this, you're gonna be fucked up. Or it's gonna go bad for you. Excuse me, I'm never gonna get monetized. I say this every week, I swear. But I'm working on it. Curse words just slip out sometimes. I gotta be accountable. Gotta do better. But yeah, we can't if you're willing to, if you care about me, you should be willing to work with how I like to be talked to. Don't come in yelling at me. Lower your voice, respect your tone, be respectful in your tone, and in your word choices, because you can make a person feel big or small based on how you come at them in your approach. Here's why accountability is so powerful. It keeps you honest. It keeps you honest. It keeps you honest. Those morals, accountability keeps you honest. It's crazy. It's very crazy, okay? So you gotta want to make sure that in your approach with certain things, you're honest, because that's what accountability is gonna do. It's gonna keep you that way. And when someone's going to ask about your progress, you're far less likely to hit the snooze button or procrastinate, because you got somebody on you. If they on your neck to make sure that you're doing what you said you was gonna do, because you talked to them about that goal, you talked to them about something, your focus. You had that conversation with them, so now they own you. They own you bad, but it's in a good way. It's in a good way. It's not in a bad way. It's in a good way. It's in a good way. So you're gonna appreciate them being on you. You're gonna appreciate that with everything in you, because If in the beginning it might seem like it's stressful that somebody telling, like, watching your moves and making sure you don't mess up. It's gonna feel like that at first, but if you know the intentions are there of being pure and good, and they trying to make sure you get to that goal, because you know yourself you have a problem with getting to the end base. You good with the start. You might be even better with the middle, but by the time you get close to the end, you start inching back. You start falling off a little bit. Oh, I got time. I ain't gonna do it this week. I'm gonna wait until next week. I want to wait till my brain is a little fresher. We do that. We do that. So when you got that person, that little person on your shoulder in your ear, like, nah, Shell, get up. You said you're going to the gym 5 days a week now. It can't be just. It can't be just 3 days. You've been doing 3 days. Now you got to change it. You're gonna do the 5 days. Do the 5 days. Get up. We're all guilty of it, sis. It has happened to all of us. We're all guilty of it. I'm telling you, we've all, and that's why you keep people in your corner. That's gonna make you accountable for how you're going to continue. That you keep them there. So being accountable keeps you honest. It boosts your motivation. Sharing your goals with someone else makes your goals feel more real. Plus, celebrating small wins together is is a more fun way than doing it alone. Like, all your things that you're trying to succeed and do are not supposed to be done alone. Some of these things you have to actually have help with. Some of these things you actually need to talk through, and not just to yourself. Not just walking around in circles having the conversation with yourself. Talk through it with someone that has understanding too. Because you may, we all have a person that we know that has achieved some goals, and they may have had to go around the world to get it done, but they did it. We all know someone like that, and we may be that person. So as long as you have someone that you can rely on, that you can talk to, that you can lean on and bounce your ideas off of, it's going to make you be more motivated. It's going to boost that motivation. It provides support. Being accountable provides support. It gives you a plethora of resources when you're accountable. Because people see you for who you really are. They see you for what you're really trying to do. You're not putting up that mask. Like, I was talking to someone earlier, and I was like, when people go out on the first date, people wear masks. But when you're being accountable, that mask don't even really have to be there, because you got a good support system. On days when you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, your accountability partner can offer encouragement, advice, or just a listening ear, because you may have had that bad day. So, because you had such a bad day, you're not able. Now, this is where you do have to choose self care and self love to kind of keep yourself going. Because on some of those bad days where you have been drained and sucked out, you might not have the opportunity or the strength to be accountable that day. And your accountability partner is going to remind you, you know what? It's okay. This happens. It can't be a habit. They're not going to ever let that be a habit. But this does happen. And because we know that this happens, because we've done it, because your accountability partner is a person that's been there before, and they might be going through it then. But because we know these things happen, it's always acceptable if you need a day off. Because you know what? For 35 days, you've been going strong. The 36th day, rest your nerves. Maybe it'll boost your motivation a little bit. Maybe it'll boost your enthusiasm. Taking some time off to think about it. Because more than none, you might take that time off to think about it and then end up getting up doing something anyway, because you're going to sit there thinking about it. So I'm telling you, like, having that person in your corner speaking that into you is going to make things so much better. And it helps you stay consistent. Consistency is key to achieving any goals, and accountability helps you build that habit. It also improves goal tracking, making it easier to monitor. No matter how old you get, it's never too late to start being accountable. You can't keep a job. You can't keep a good friendship. You can't keep a good man, a good partner, a good woman. You always find an excuse as to why these things are happening, but you're never really telling yourself that you may be a part of that problem or a part of that constant that you keep having to go through. So the consistency that you're on is the track of the on achieving your goals. You want to get on the track of consistency that's allowing you to achieve your goals. You got to get to that. You got to get to that point. You definitely have to make yourself aware of where you're doing things wrong. That's being accountable, baby. I'm telling you, like, you don't want to lie to yourself. That's why that mirror be so scary. That's why that mirror be so scary. And that's why I said at the beginning, thank you for that. Thank you. Um, you're scared to go look at that person that you're constantly failing every day. You're scared to go and give them to go put your eyes on them. You're scared of that because you're afraid of what you're gonna see. A person that's on drugs, they look different every time they go look in the mirror. A person that does a lot of drinking, they look different every time they go look in the mirror. A person that smokes, uses tobacco regularly, they looking differently. A person that lies regularly, a person that is eating obsessively, a person that is taking meds to lose weight, all kinds of different things. You're going to see differently every time you go to that mirror. Got to start somewhere. Self accountability comes with a dose of humility. Ooh, it does. That's what you got to be humble to be accountable. And when we're saying humble, it's about your growth. Nobody ain't telling people to just go out here and don't be good at what you're doing. Shut that down. Don't be good at that. No, we're not saying that. That's not what the humility part is. The humility part is in order for you to accept how you have to deal with things while you're going through these uncomfortable seasons. It being humble allows you to see where you get distracted at, where you need improvement, how you're approaching the situation. Because the insane approach of doing things the same way, I keep on going down the blueprint, and I get right here and get stuck. That's because you're taking the same walk. And in your mind, you telling yourself that that's the best way to go. That means you're not being humble enough to see that there is another way. There is another opportunity. There is another way to make that work. Your way ain't the only way. You know how many people that have done these things in life? We're not we're not inventing new wheels every day. We are not. Some of the things that we're doing have already been done 100 years over. It's just being done better now because equipment might be better, technology might be better. But as far as what you're doing, it's already been somebody that done tried it. You tap into those resources. When you just think that you got it all figured out, but you're not being accountable for how you're doing it and accountable for your actions, stuff is going to start going awry. Accountability in your personal relationships involve being honest and committed to positive change. So when people be like, he just stuck in his ways, that's because that's a choice that they stuck in their ways. They don't have to do that. You can change for people that you care about, bro. You would do anything. You would go out your way to do anything for a person that you know is for you. You don't have a problem with it. You will not have a problem with them whatsoever. So yeah, be honest and committed to positive change in your relationships, reflecting on your contributions to conflicts or misunderstandings. When you have a blow up with your partner or a blow up with somebody you care about that's close to you in your like a personal relationship with someone, you better take that time to sit and go reflect because there could have been words that were said that shouldn't have been said. There could have been actions that were done that shouldn't have been done. There could have been um, um, I was about to say something else. I can't remember. Words and actions good, but there could have been things that shouldn't have been said or done from the beginning in that in that altercation. And now you're sitting over here, you might be about to lose everything because you don't know how to reflect to see where you messed up so that you can see what you need to improve upon. Your choices in your personal relationships are super duper important. What's going on, D? They are super duper important. How you move, how you respond, how you do everything is going to be. People are paying attention to that, and then the older you get, nobody don't want to keep hearing excuses. So if you're saying that you're growing and this is happening, and there's change here and all of that, they're gonna be expecting to see that change. That's why a lot of people don't go off of That's why a lot of people don't go off of words. They go off of action. I'm big on that. I don't what you say means nothing unless you've already shown me some action behind that. What you say means nothing, bro. Cause I'm knowing that you probably done said this before and you ain't did nothing. So let's just be honest and reflect on your contributions to the conflicts. Sit up and think about exactly what you're saying in these conflicts that need to change so that you don't say it again, so you don't do it again, so you don't fall back down that barrel again. Focus. Recognizing how your behaviors impact your partner in the relationship and owning up to actions and making them right. You will be your own worst enemy in the relationship if you do not own up. You got to own up, sugar. You got to own up. You have to let people know that they see that you made that mistake. You have to. Like, just all that sweeping stuff under the rug, that stuff's so old and played out. That was generations and generations ago, where you just sit there, you know something going on, and you don't say nothing. You just be like, sweep it under the rug. And now you stuck doing that for life with this person because you don't speak up. And they ain't owning up. They just getting away with it. That was generations and generations ago. We're not doing that no more. People not accepting that. People not accepting that. You gotta get, if you are the problem, state that I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did that. Point blank, period. Say what you shouldn't have done. Say what you shouldn't have done. And then fix it. Fix it so you don't have to worry about doing it again. And then, like I said earlier, if you got eyes watching you, that stuff be mattering, bro. Because how you deal with people and how you deal with things that are affecting you and your partner's life, you got to be honest about that. And then those people them little eyes that's watching you, they're going to take what you're doing into their own personal lives, and they're going to start utilizing those things in them while they're going to school, how they're dealing with their teachers, students, friends. They pick up on that. What you show a child, like we always say, kids need to stay in a child's place. And I found myself saying that to my niece last night because she said something, and she shouldn't have said it, but it doesn't. She wasn't lying. It just wasn't her place. You a kid, so certain things you do have to stay in a child's place with, but also it's not her fault that she know that. It's what her uncle showed her. He not that's her calling him out on his lack of accountability. An 8-year-old did that. Yes, it sounded wrong for her to say it because it made me cringe a little bit. I was like, "Ooh, she said that," But I sat down, I'm sitting up thinking about it because I'm a thinker, baby. I don't like too much to go unthought about, and I'm just thinking about it. Well, she ain't wrong, and he gave her that to talk about. It all goes back to being humble. We all need to learn how to exercise that trait. Most people are too proud to be humble. Most people are too proud to be humble. Most people are too proud to accept accountability in any form. So that humility trait is going to be very beneficial to anybody who's trying to be accountable. You must have humility. You must have a focus of knowing when too much is too much or not enough is enough. It's a lot of things that can take us back to our humble days. But if you didn't, when the time that you had to be humble and you didn't be humble, and you constantly not being humble, you battling. It's a lot of us battling. We ain't never learned the idea of when to use our humility in this thing called accountability. We don't do it well. Personal accountability in parenting involves teaching kids that actions have consequences. Model person model personal accountability and humility. So if you want your children to have good moral skills and good values, what you want to see in them is what they need to be seeing in you. It's really simple as that. Don't come in there telling them kids not to smoke them cigarettes and you smoking them cigarettes. Don't come in there telling them kids that they can't go in that refrigerator and get nothing to drink after 8 o'clock, but you sitting on the couch eating food, but you saying that's the rule. Nobody goes in the kitchen because lights out. You're not modeling. Don't tell those children to go and get an education without justifying it, especially if you dropped out in the 8th grade, but you doing good. It's ways that you got to do these things. And I always telling them, I just want you to be better than me. I just want you to be better than me. That's not enough. Kids need to see that there are things that need to be shown to them for them to actually pick up on it. For me to believe and really understand that my mother is showing me the right things. And now everything she's showing me, now I go and start doing some of those things. And people looking at me like I'm breaking the law. Because my mama said it's okay for her to take a few groceries out of the grocery store if we hungry. If she ain't got no money, it's okay. Accountability matters. So what you show them is what they're picking up on, not just what you say. Do the hard stuff when the kids are young. And if you start working on that when they're young like that, you're going to get a whole lot more success when it comes to the outcome of their morals and their accountability and their humility. Because you're going to see them thinking about things before they do it because they're already taught to think before they do. You're going to see them actually exemplifying that you said that, okay, if you don't ran around and played in dirt all day, the first thing you need to do is come in the house, take a bath, but they come sit on your couch. No, it wouldn't be rule breaking, wouldn't be happening like that if you actually enforced it. And when you give them things to do and when you're teaching them these morals and things and these values, you have to also show consequences. You got to give them reasons as to why these things have to be done because kids just don't believe you like that no more. Heck, when I was a kid, I didn't believe everything that was told to me. I questioned a lot. Now, I ain't saying that I ain't get, backhanded or put on punishment because of me asking certain questions because they was out, you got to stay in child's place, but I'm going to ask. So you can't be upset with your kid for asking if you haven't given them any consequential reasons for why they should do what they need to do. Everything deserves a response. If you're teaching them something, you got to look at the backlash that's going to come with it. Give more responsibilities. As they age, add another one on. 3 years old, it starts. You got to have them picking up their toys, and especially you got smart little kids at 2 and 1 that's doing that. If they come in their living room and you say that they're supposed to just play in their playroom and they bring the toys in the living room, but the consequence is if you bring the toys in the living room, you got to clean them up immediately when you're done. And they get up and walk right back out and go get more toys and add to the plethora of mess out there, and there's nothing to be said. Okay, you already failing them. The ages of 2 and 3 are some of the most vital ages in a young kid's life. The examples you set, the things that you're teaching, all that stuff starts at that age. Teach them about consequences, like I just said, and make sure that you are taking ownership of yours as well. So they see consequences happening. If you speed and the police pull you over, now your next thing to them is because they're asking you, Mom, why we got pulled? Daddy, why we got pulled? Don't be like, because the police are ass. No, be honest. Be honest. Hey, my sister, be honest. Tell them exactly for the real reason why you got pulled. You're doing 90 and a 45. Be honest. Let them see that these are things that happen when you do wrong. You got to do that, man. You have so you if we were doing these things as these kids were supposed to be growing, it would be so many kids that know that they have value to who they are because they were raised to know that if I step out of line, if I fall down, there are things that I have to do to get back up. It's nobody's fault. I have to fight these plights. I have to climb these stairs. I got to go through what I got to go through to get to what I want. It's going to be all on me. I can't blame people for my actions. But if you're not teaching them anything, and then they just go out into this world because they're not learning this stuff in school no more, all they get is consequences in school now. It's no retroactive plan. It's straight consequences. So if they fall down and if they fall and five other people fall on top of them, the person on the bottom, the problem, consequences. If they decide that they don't want to go to school for the first 3 days of the school year and they miss out on getting the packets, getting the information, getting the school maps and all those different things, and you send them to school on the 4th day, and now they got to go and figure all this out themselves, consequences. Everything has a consequence that does not fall in line of law, in line of structure, in line of morals. Everything has consequences, albeit consequences at home or consequences in the street. But you better prepare for the consequences in the street by starting at home. That's just point blank, period. It don't matter who you are or where you come from. Those people that you're raising, those people that you're putting out there, including yourself, are going to have to face reality someday. And while they're trying to face reality, if they haven't been taught at the young tender ages of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and not 14, you want to tell them they got chores? It be y'all fault. It really do. It just be y'all fault. And then nobody wants to take that responsibility. We just get online and be like, I got good kids. They don't deserve this. I wish y'all can fall in. I wish it could be y'all that have to suffer the consequences of the children's actions when they're not taught. I bet a lot of y'all will start stepping up as real parents then. I bet you'll start being more responsible for what needs to go on then. I bet you'll start being more accountable. And it's going to go back to that humility because you don't want another person to have to humble you. You got to do that yourself. And always offer positive reinforcement. Just like you praise them when they do bad. I mean, just like you chastise them when they do wrong, praise them when they do well. They need to know that consequences are there, but there are also good outcomes to their actions. It's not always consequences that are negative. There are good consequences. So we want to let them know. We want to be teaching them about the good consequences too, and it starts with us. So don't just be fussing at them children when they ain't do this and do that and do that. Yes, do that, but also positive reinforcement. Give them a little extra bonus points when they're doing right. If you see them trying harder and you around the house and you noticing it, but you haven't said anything, please say something. Nobody likes to be changing and then it's a good change and then you don't want to recognize the fact that it's a good change. A lot of our children turn out improper because of how we are. When the world hold their kids accountable, then they play. Oh, sus. And we feel bad for the children, though. We do. We feel bad for those children because people have the opportunity to teach those children. I said on my last show, if you don't know the answers, go get the answers. Give them the resources because it's still going to fall on you when your child falls short. It's still going to fall on you. Now, outside of the children portion, that's the parenting part of being accountable. I gave you guys the personal, I gave you guys the relationship. If you are not stepping up in any of these areas of being more accountable and having more humility, then you're the problem. You're the problem. We don't stop adding on to the problem. Be a solution. think every day is a good day though, Dennis. I really do, but it wasn't the best. I had a lot of I don't know, but I think it probably when I think about that, I will say it was a good day because I had a lot of time to reflect today while I was working. I ain't play music today. I just sat in silence and worked, and it gave me a lot of time to process things. So I feel my head is clear, my mind is at peace. So that might be what it is. That was good, Dennis. Look at you paying attention. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm that's my show. That's my show. And be consistent. Just be very consistent in who you are and what you're doing so that you can always model that what you are modeling can be something that's respected and actually something that people can pick up on and learn from. So don't be out here just giving off negative. You feel me? Give off a little more, give more positive than negative. We need our people to be strong. We need our children to have a lot more values. They going out bad. They're going out bad. So and a lot of it falls on us. All right. So resources. Reach out to them if you don't have them. Make sure you can give them something that they couldn't get from you. All right, y'all take care. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday evening. I love y'all and thank y'all for being so consistent with me. Y'all are very much so appreciated. Y'all have a great evening. Peace.